Okay, so today we're going to be doing an unboxing of a USB handbrake for Windows PC. So I have a couple of videos out earlier showing my racing sim setup, and so I've also downloaded EA Sport WRC. And while playing that game, I realized that I really should have a handbrake. And so I bought the cheapest um, handbrake, USB handbrake from Amazon. It comes with quite a few things actually. So the handbrake itself, obviously, was USB connection, and there's a desktop mount. You can, I think, screw this on the bottom of the handbrake assembly, and then also comes with an adapter plate. So um, yeah. So, anyways, so the unboxing of this is I'm just going through everything that's inside of the box, make sure that I'm not missing anything. Um, and putting most of the things aside, the handbrake itself, it's actually felt that was pretty good quality material. The one thing I didn't quite like is the USB cable that's coming out of the side. They had glued the connector um, into the circuit board, and then there's the top panel there. You see the cover. Suppose they have three screws, and one of them is not being fastened, and there's a zip tie there, so that keeps the USB cable on the side. And I was just checking to make sure like none of the screws are loose. And so have read quite a bit of reviews on this. Most of them are decent. There's a few that said that this thing came pretty simply, but like a lot of screws were loose. The handle was, about to fall off. One thing I noticed when I was unwinding the USB cable is that they obviously have wind up the cable and before they fully assembled it. So once it's wind up, they had the other side of the USB cable that goes in the circuit board. So that is where they kind of wind up, and that's the end of that wind up, right? And so I can't really unwind it properly with with that other piece connected to the circuit board. So this part taken a while to basically let unwind all the cables. Um, and so while you're looking at the this part, so there's a couple of things that I like about this. It again, the material felt that was actually quite solid. Um, I believe they're all aluminum, maybe a few steel parts, but I couldn't tell. There didn't seem to be any like actual plastic pieces. The handle itself is pretty solid. It's pretty thick, and it's fastened with two screws, so that you can actually change the angle and the how the handle is facing, or which way the handle is facing. Um, we can see here that there's a red hook there. I have no idea what it's for. I don't. I didn't read the manual obviously, but I've seen like in videos where that hook goes into, or whatever the screw that you see there is hooked into the hook. I don't know why or was already used for. Um, so, anyways, so I think I eventually removed it. Just there's just no use for it. That screw that's holding the hook, it doesn't really. There's nothing on the other side. Um, so I'm just playing with the tension. It's decent. I didn't feel like that it was soft or anything, so it seemed to be fine to me. Um, yeah, and now that I'm investigating like the cap now, so there's one screw on top, one screw on the right hand side, and then the left hand side. There's supposed to be a screw, but I didn't see any. So again, that hole was used to zip tie the USB cable in place, which is fine by me. It's just as long as it doesn't move anywhere. Um, so I'm thinking I probably need to run that cable somehow so that it doesn't get pulled or into different directions, or end up being in the weight of the handle or the handbrake handle. Um, so yeah, so looking around, couldn't tell what that hook really is connected to. Um, there's a spring, yellow spring inside of the handle. Again, that provides a decent amount of tension. Yeah, I'm just trying to put that thing in the hook, and I really have no idea why that it's there. It makes no sense to me. Uh, yeah, so it's not connected to anything. Um, yeah, no idea. Um, in the product picture, they had a picture, I think, of the handle that's in the thing, that's hooked into the thing, but like it doesn't do anything, doesn't make any sense to me. Um, so now that I think about it, I think the only thing that may be useful with this hook is that once you have the lever, the side of that thing in from the lever hooked into the red hook, um, it keeps a little bit of tension on the spring. And so when there, I don't know if you can see this, but at the end of that spring, there's a screw, and there's a O-ring there that keeps it from clunking. And the only thing I can think of is if I don't have it in the hook, then the spring is pushing the handle all the way out, and so there's some pressure on the O-ring, which I guess if it's there for a long time, it might not crush it, but like it will decompress it, or sorry, it will compress it. So if it's in the spring, then obviously it doesn't have nearly as much pressure, or it probably don't even touch the plate. So the washer will stay in, I guess, better shape longer. That's the only thing I can think of. And I really didn't care too much about whether that O-ring gets crushed or not. Um, so yeah, still checking, making sure everything is tight. As you can see, this is just useless. I have no idea. So anyways, I think I probably will have another video recorded soon to actually have this thing mounted, and then we'll do a quick demo video of how this thing works. And I just found out that, well, not found out, but like I realized where the magnet is. So a lot of people are saying that like by moving that magnet around, you could potentially adjust the range of movement that detected by the sensor. Um, to me, that felt that it was fine. Good amount of motion. And then I actually did play it a little bit in a game or in the WRC game, and it seems to work fine. And the amount of range is fine. In a lot of these games, you can adjust the way that it reacts to the pull of the handbrake. So it really depends on the game. So